Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daily Tactics here, and we are back with some more Men of War Assault Squad 2, the Star Wars Galaxy at War Mod. Now today, the Rebels have a hidden radio base here. As you can see, here's the radio tower on this sort of Earth-like forest planet. It very well could be Endor or something like that. I don't know. It's, sort of undefined at the moment. But this HQ has pretty light defenses on the outside here. They've really only got one particle turret. They've got a few defenders on these sandbags, but it's not heavily defended. But they saw that there was an immense Stormtrooper garrison coming towards them because they had discovered the Rebel hidden radio base HQ thingy. And so the Rebels called upon their own reinforcements here, so they've got squads set up with squad leaders ready to do a counterattack against the oncoming Stormtroopers. Both sides have a wide variety of weapons, pretty diverse. There's bazookas, there's machine guns, there's assault rifles, there's sniper rifles. There's all sorts of good shenanigans in here that the sides can basically utilize to their advantage. The Empire has one ATST. These things are pretty clumsy, especially in the forest, so I doubt it will stay alive for very long. I mean, we saw what the Ewoks did to it with sticks and rocks, so we'll see. Either way, I think we're just about ready to get this battle started. I'll be right back. 1 second. All right, you battle areas, we are ready to rumble here. We're going to go ahead and just press start. And the Stormtroopers begin to move forward. The ATST sort of taking the lead here. It is much faster than normal infantry, so this thing is probably going to be the first engagement line with the Rebels, who are also moving forward to counter the Stormtrooper movements here. Yeah, this thing is going in without really any infantry support. It should hang back, but maybe it's sort of paving the way and softening up the Rebels a little bit. For some reason, one crew member decided to hop out, but the other two are busy fighting back against these Rebels, chain gunning it up using some of its blaster fire, and it gets hit by a rocket and goes down in a fiery mess. Not before getting a solid number of kills on the Rebels, though, so definitely did soften up the Rebel alliance a little bit there, but in the end it did end up going down. But the Stormtrooper infantry in the back now sees the Rebel infantry and has begun to sort of spread out and fire at them. They've got this sweet forest camo, which of course the Empire had quite a good source of camouflage. They had pretty much a camo for every environment. They had naval camo, they had forest camo, they had lava camo, freaking lava camo, and sand camo. Yeah, they had it all, which was really, I think, key to their army because camouflage is really something you can't underestimate. It makes it so hard for people to see you in the forest or wherever environment you are, snow, forest, naval, that it can really devastate the enemy in terms of their accuracy. So it's kind of cool to see that the Imperials just were so well versed in that, and they really understood that was a brilliant tactic to use. The Rebels, of course, had camo of their own. As we can see, these guys are in their forest camo as well, which is pretty much the stuff used on Endor, this sort of dark green camouflage, which is pretty cool in of itself. The Rebel forces seem to be sort of clumped together out here in the open. They don't have a ton of cover. A lot of the cover is far off in the mountainsides over here on the rocks and stuff like that. And there's just not a ton of it to go around. Ooh, there's a mass slaughter of Rebels over here. Jeez Louise. They must have gone up against the main part of the Stormtrooper forces. But where they do have cover, they seem to be surviving a little bit better. I think these guys in the middle here are probably going to go down very, very early as they're just receiving a lot of shots from the oncoming Stormtroopers. I guess in the distance, these things sort of block Stormtrooper shots, so in a way they have cover, but once those Stormtroopers begin to advance further, then they will certainly lose that entirety of cover. We're seeing the Stormtroopers actually getting knocked down a peg too as lots of their troopers go down. They do have, I think, more cover than the Rebels do. They've got all these rocks out here and they've got little divots in the earth where they can hang out. This right side over here is a little bit less safe though. They do have a small divot where they can sort of lay behind, but these guys are mainly sticking out in the open where they're under pretty intense fire from the Rebels and taking quite a number of losses. Of course, they're returning that loss ratio quite nicely too. The thing with the Stormtroopers, though, is they need to ensure that they don't lose too many soldiers in this first battle here. They need to make sure that they have a substantive. Is that right? I'm in college, I should know. But they need to basically make sure they have enough troopers to take out the rebel radio base at the end of this battle, or else it's all over for them. So they need to ensure that they have enough troopers to do that, while also being able to eliminate all of these guys. So they need to be a little bit more careful than the rebels. While these rebels here could probably be a little bit more bold than their Imperial counterparts, because they're looking to kill as many of these guys as they possibly can, so that their rebel radio base doesn't have as much trouble. Either way, we're seeing the Stormtroopers actually proceed quite far forward here, coming up the lip of this hill, but as they do, they're under a lot more intense fire from the Rebel Alliance, and they have less cover going for them as well. So it's a bit of a problem, but I mean, they're gonna have to advance eventually, so they're just sort of making it happen now. Like I said earlier, a lot of the rebels in the middle were under intense fire, so now most of them are dead, and these guys back here are under some intense fire too. So we're seeing the rebel sort of attackers here begin to falter a little bit. They're losing more troopers. They're not able to sort of maintain the amount of fire they were previously, and thus the Imperials will quite possibly make it further into this map and get to the rebel radio base and finally launch an attack on that. We can see some of these down trees actually here, making perfect cover for the Imperials. Perhaps the rebels should have thought twice before firing their bazookas into them, and actually creating that sort of opportunity for the Imperials to come forward. Either way, it looks like the main force of rebels here is for the most part dead. There's still a chunk of them hiding off into the woods over here, and then the main rebel radio base over here is actually beginning to volley some fire at them. Those who have longer range weapons are able to do that, as well as this particle turret, who should be a great source of defensive power for the rebels. They need to make the best use of that thing as they possibly can, because it can definitely take out clusters of the Imperials with ease, but if they lose it too early on, then they are in some trouble. But as we can see right there, it gets a massive hit on these Imperials. These Imperials need to stop clumping up so much in the very middle here. They need to spread out a bit more, but they're just not managing to do this. There's also a rocket trooper somewhere in here, and I'm wondering where he is. He's right here. Oh, maybe it's not him because he has no kills. Is it this guy? No, this guy's just chilling off to the edge here. He's actually got a grenade out. He might be able to do something here. Let's see. No, he puts it away actually. Oh no, he takes it back out. I'm curious about this guy. He could do a lot of damage to the Imperials here. Nope, he fires his weapon and immediately gets roasted by hundreds of laser fire. There was an Imperial bazooka trooper over here is what I was talking about, and we were seeing some bazooka shots going to the Imperials, but I guess the Imperials eventually did end up managing to take him out. Either way, there's maybe 4 rebels within these rocks here. If they try to move like that last guy did, then they are likely going to die pretty early. They might as well just stay where they are and wait to get a nice little flanking position on the Imperials for when the Imperials walk by. But the Rebel radio base is now fully operational in terms of its firing capability, and they are rounding off at the Imperials below quite nicely. They're doing a good job here. And this particle turret is going to need to, like I said before, get lots of kills, and it is doing it. We're seeing sort of its impacts with bodies all around them. It's certainly doing its job. The Imperials are sort of becoming a little bit more wary of going forward. They're taking their time a bit more now. They're being a bit more conscious of the losses that they took earlier in the battle, because they know they need to keep up their numbers if they want to take this hill position, because attacking defensive positions is one of the hardest things you can possibly do. And if they don't keep their numbers up, they can very easily lose this battle, because once you reach a certain low number of attackers, then there's just no hope. Even if it's like double the amount of defenders, it can be very, very difficult to actually make it happen and get that victory. But we'll see what ends up happening here, as the rebels are doing a pretty sweet job of defending here. We're seeing these particle turrets firing off. We're seeing the lads on the ground too, firing off their weapons as well. It's quite sweet. Quite a nice little defensive position. It's small, but it's crucial to the Rebel Alliance. It's where they can request help, I suppose, or send signals to the fleet above, something like that, you know? It's obviously important because they wouldn't expend so many troopers trying to defend it here. Or maybe it's some sort of intel within the radio base that they need to get out before the Imperials can overcome it, you know? Something like that. The Rebels are not known for their long-lasting bases. They're always ready to sort of pick up and get the heck out of there the moment they need to. And that's one of the beauties of the Rebel alliances. They don't have to, you know, be stationary in one place like the Empire does. They can roam around as much as they want, while the Empire is really restricted because they need to hold the territories. And the Rebels can just do these hit and runs, while the Empire really is stuck chasing the whole time, which I think is a big reason as to why the Empire ends up losing the war overall. Either way, the Rebels are starting to take some losses, though, as their radio base here begins to come under more and more fire. The particle turret is still alive, though. That's definitely a saving grace. And there's still backup troopers way back here as well, who aren't at the very lip of the mountain. So it's not all over yet for the Rebels. And the Imperials, their numbers are thinning quite considerably. So we could very easily see a Rebel come back here. That was a huge shot from the particle turret right there, by the way. I just saw a whole ton of Imperial Stormtroopers go down because of it. But the particle turret is definitely getting heavily targeted by these Imperials, and one or two loose laser shots could take out this turret operator very, very quickly, which would be no bueno. Oh, the Rebel over here actually ended up dying. Let's see. Yeah, there he is. He's dead. Oh, but he did manage to kill actually 2 Imperials as they were coming up from what it looks like. Yeah, these 2. It looks like they went down as this guy. Oh, and there's a third who's actually on top of his body. So I'd imagine maybe he was able to like beat that one guy down and then shoot the other 2, something like that. I think maybe he got some help from the radio base. Who knows? Either way, the dude definitely stuck it out till the end for the Rebel Alliance. The radio base is coming under such heavy fire now. There's very few troopers actually left alive over here. I actually do have a rocket trooper up here though, who if the never mind. Sorry, buddy. I shouldn't talk about characters. They'll just die. There's also a few medics up here, so I mean, get your medics here. Oh, that was a pretty good shot from the particle turret. I ended up taking like 4 guys out. Let's see. How are the Imperials doing as a whole? They've actually got troopers at the base of the mountain here now, ready to sort of make the climb up there. About 4 or 5 of them. But most of them seem to still be sort of standing their distance, trying to pour on fire from a ways away. They're not managing to hit this guy, and I mean, for good reason. He's pretty far away. There's sandbags blocking their shots. Also, this big particle turret blocks their shot, so it makes it much, much more difficult for them to hit behind that thing. But the Empire just keeps on coming, man. They are resilient. Well, they're not so much resilient. They're just stubborn in the fact that they have unlimited resources, essentially. So that's the main problem here for the Rebels as they work to fight these guys back. And they are really running pretty low on troopers here. On the minimap, you can see the blue are the Rebels, red are the Imperials. Rebels got two troopers out here. This guy's got 1 kill. This guy's got 0. This guy's got 130 on the particle turret. All right. These guys back here, I don't think. Oh, this guy's got 6. That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. This guy's got none. The medic here has 2. That's kind of impressive, you know? But overall, most of the guys who were probably high rollers, like I'm sure all of these guys had at least like 10. But they're dead now. Alright, Imperial's starting to creep up the flanks over here. In fact, grenading the Rebel position. And getting a little bit of fire out. Ooh, they do manage to kill that guy. But they're getting shut down by these guys in the back here, and now these guys are starting to come into play during this battle now, as the last of the Stormtroopers finally reach the base of the hill here. The last Rebel possibility. I think these guys are stuck down here, actually, because you can't go up that steep slope, so we'll just sort of gear all of the Stormtroopers to sort of come up this way. Oh, the particle turret actually ended up going down at some point. I missed that. I wonder if you guys were able to see it. Hopefully you were, because that'd be kind of interesting to see. Either way, all the Stormtroopers now involved in the final push of this battle. There's maybe 20, 30 of them left. Ooh, they're throwing some grenades, which is a good strategy here. It's a good way to get up this hill. The rebels are also throwing some grenades, though. You know, you guys know I love some grenade warfare. But more rebels going down as the Imperials begin to crest up the hill. That was a big grenade, but it gets tossed back. That could, oh yeah, that definitely hurt the Imperials right there. That's the struggle with throwing grenades, is they can be thrown back. Oh, but a whole slew of rebels actually ended up going down. And another grenade up there ends up taking that guy out. We're down to 2 troopers here. 1 medic, 1 rifleman. Medic takes out a grenade. He tries to throw it, but gets suppressed. He does end up throwing it. This guy ends up taking out 2 Imperials over there. The medic's under heavy fire. There's only about, I don't know, 10 or so Imperials left. And the medic did end up going down, so it's like a 10v1 situation right now. This last rebel making the ultimate sacrifice for the troopers. I mean, they did hold out for quite a while, so maybe they were able to do what they needed to do before the Imperials came or something like that. Yeah, let's say they did that, and then let's take out a grenade, and let's just grenade this right here. Oh, no, he turned around and threw the grenade that way. Okay. You gotta destroy the stockpile, man. There we go. Alright, destroyed the stockpile there. Boom, it's dead. Now all the valuable information is gone from the rebels, and this guy can die knowing he saved the day. He did end up killing another Imperial right there. The rest of the Imperials are sort of like, huh, that guy died. I don't really want to go forward now. This guy's going to take out a grenade. That's the smartest way to do this, honestly. The grenade forces the rebel to move away. Doesn't die yet. Uh-oh. Oh, he does end up going down, and the Imperials do end up winning the day, but not by a lot. Let's see, how many troopers they got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly 10. And the rebels killed hundreds of them. Almost all of these guys have only like 1 kill between. Yeah, most of these guys only have like 1 kill. 2 of them have 2. 1 of them has none. So these last batch sort of were lucky to live. Let's check out the losses here. So yellow are dead Imperials. Red are dead dead rebels. And as we can see, last little stand here did end up killing a good chunk of Imperials, and a lot of rebels did go down there. But then over here we can see that lots of Imperials died trying to assault the hill here, and then back here we see this is where the majority of the rebel deaths occurred. Not too many Imperial deaths occurred in here. Definitely a solid amount, maybe like 20 or 30. But the majority of the Imperial deaths occurred way back here. And the Imperials really just managed to finally end up sweeping the rebels at the very end there. And I think it was a pretty entertaining battle. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment and subscribe if you did. Check me out on all my socials in the description below. And I'll see y'all later. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.